Welcome dear students. Today we are going to learn about the harvesting, processing, storage and marketing of fresh fruits. Fruits and vegetables are high on the list of priorities for consumers and are important for a balanced diet. At least 400 grams daily intake of fruits and vegetables is recommended by the World Health Organization. A fruit is the soft, pulpy part of a flowering plant that is an important source of vitamins and carbohydrates like fiber and sugar. Fruits are low in calories and naturally sweet. India is the second largest producer of fruits after China, accounting to 10.49% of world fruit production. During 2017 to 2018, fruit production in India was 97.05 million metric tons and the area under cultivation of fruits was 6.51 million hectares. India exported fruits worth Rs 422,903 crores amounting to 65590 million US dollars during 2017-2018. Approximately 75% of the produce produced is sold to wholesalers, sub-wholesalers and retailers through commission agents. All reputable fruit traders send a small number of trained individuals to local mandis and growing areas for pricing information. They then do resorting, grading and packaging by skilled packers before sending to other commission agents in other states. Mostly untrained laborers are employed for handling practices in the farm as well as in the mandi. The important companies that have entered in fruits and vegetables retailing are Reliance Industries and Ranger Farms, Bharti Walmart, ITC, Food World, Spencer, Godrej, Future Group, Aditya Birla Group, etc. 40 to 50% of horticulture crops are grown in developing nations, are said to be lost before they can be consumed, primarily due to high rates of bruising, water loss and subsequent decay during post-harvest handling, according to numerous studies and observations over the past 40 years. Only limited cold storage facilities are available in few selected mandis, but the capacity is far below than required. Another significant loss that occurs in fresh produce is nutritional loss. That is the loss of vitamins, antioxidants and health-promoting compounds or lower market value. A multitude of factors influence the quality of fresh fruit. The total influence determines how quickly things deteriorate and decay. Approximately 1/3 of all fresh fruits and vegetables are lost before it reaches to the consumers. Post-harvest losses in fresh fruits and vegetables are estimated about 5 to 35% in developed countries and 20 to 50% in developing countries. The various post-harvest factors that affect quality of the fresh produce are maturity stage, methods of harvesting, that includes tools for harvesting and assembling, time of harvesting, pre-cooling, sorting and grading, packaging, that includes packaging materials and pelletization, use of cushioning materials in the package such as foam net, paper cutting, rice straw, etc. Storage, that includes types of storage, temperature during storage and transportation, relative humidity during storage and transportation, road condition during transportation, pattern of loading and unloading, exposure of packed and unpacked boxes to sunlight. Most developing countries have extremely disorganized fruit markets that are dominated by intermediaries, commission agents and traders. In addition to controlling the market, these middlemen take the lion's share of the sale price. This explains why the farmer's share of the rupee that consumers spend is so unsatisfactory. The farmer's share of consumers' rupee is studied by many workers and organizations. When it comes to fruits, the producer's share typically ranges from 33% to 75%. Just 1 rupee is given to farmers for every 3.50 rupees that customers pay, according to a 2001 Government of India survey. While the wholesaler receives rupees 0.50, the retailer receives rupees 0.75 and commission agents and merchants receive the remaining rupees 1.25. Not only do farmers receive a very small portion of the amount paid by consumers, but they are also sometimes prohibited from selling their produce directly to customers in many markets. The national and international markets for fresh food, particularly fruits, have seen significant changes during the past 10 to 15 years. All marketing related operations including harvesting, assembling, packing, distribution patterns, quality control and consumption patterns exhibit these shifts. Nowadays, the marketing of fresh produce, especially fruits, has grown to be a multi-million-dollar industry. More and more retailers, wholesalers and semi-wholesalers are also joining the fresh produce section of trade and marketing. Large wholesale markets at national level relate to small wholesale markets at state levels and district levels. Large retail chains or organized retails are also connected with different wholesale markets of the country. So now we are going to discuss harvesting. Harvesting is the operation of gathering the fruits and is carried out at the time when the fruits are nutrient rich and have reached the appropriate degree of maturity. In general, the harvesting takes place 10 or 15 days after the fruit has reached physiological maturity. At the time of maturity, the fruit has specific moisture content and special physical characteristics. The most appropriate time of harvest is determined based upon the length of the growing cycles, which differ according to the crop and varieties, and also the degree of maturity of the fruit. So talking about the methods of harvesting. There are basically three most common used methods for harvesting fruits or vegetables. Harvesting individual fruits with hand by pulling or twisting the fruit pedicel. This harvesting technique is the most common and widely employed. The best mature fruits are simple for the harvester to select. Pulling a little peel along with the pedicel end puts the fruits susceptible to rapid deterioration, which is a significant drawback of this procedure. Harvesting soft fruits like raspberries and strawberries, which are produced on low-growing plants, involves breaking the fruit stem and placing the fruit in an appropriate carrier, which can be a box or a punnet. Picking fruits is time-consuming, and thus many strategies have been devised to make it go more quickly. Commonly, a long pole with a sack at the end and a tool for breaking or cutting the fruit stem is utilized. There are many picking platforms that allow the fruit to be harvested by raising and lowering the platform, which allows the harvester to be dragged about the orchard from tree to tree. So talking about the second method, that is harvesting the individual fruits or fruit bunch with the help of fruit clippers, secateurs, scissors. This is an improved version of the hand pulling and twisting technique. Here the fruit stalk is chopped near the fruit's attachment point, leaving only a very tiny piece of the pedicel attached to the fruit. This is frequently utilized and well received in practically all citrus fruits. This strategy yields greater post-harvest quality than any other. Cutting the fruit stalk close to the fruit is a crucial safety measure because if it isn't, the portion of the pedicel that is linked to the fruit could pierce other healthy fruits when they are handled and marketed later. Fruits that are borne in bunches, such as grapes, are harvested using secateurs or scissors. Talking about the third method, that is harvesting with a specially designed harvester. This technique is only applied on a commercial basis and requires a specific machinery. With harvesters, fruits and vegetables sustain greater damage and lose quality more quickly. This is the most cost-effective way to gather fruits and vegetables for processing. Large wind machines that are carried through the orchard and then equipped with a device to gather the fruit off the ground can be used to remove oranges from the trees in order to extract the juice. Another options are tree shakers, which are fastened to the trunk of the tree and shake the tree ferociously to knock off the fruit. Canvas sheets mounted on a frame may be placed beneath the tree to break the fall of the fruit and thus reduce damage levels. The shake and catch methods of harvesting can result in considerable damage of fruits. So, talking about the processing. Crops can be given a variety of treatments to prolong their storage or commercial life after harvest. These include addition of minerals. The standard approach of avoiding nutrient imbalances is to deliver the nutrients as a foliar spray or soil fertilizer to the crop while it's still growing. However, post-harvest application may also be helpful. Apples can benefit from the post-harvest treatment of calcium to prevent the development of physiological abnormalities during storage, especially bitter pit. It has also been demonstrated that the post-harvest treatment of calcium inhibits the ripening process of mangoes, avocados, and tomatoes. In all three of these instances, calcium was delivered via vacuum infiltration at concentrations between 1 and 4% of calcium chloride. Higher concentrations may cause skin injury. It was discovered that these treatments considerably delayed ripening without compromising fruit quality. Talking about astringency removal. Tannins are what cause astringency in a lot of fruits. It is frequently associated with underripe fruit and can give the produce an unpleasant flavor. Astringency in persimmon fruit can be reduced by treating it with high carbon dioxide levels. Astringency was eliminated by storing persimmons in 4% carbon dioxide at -1 degrees for roughly 2 weeks before removing them from storage and treating them for 6 to 18 hours with 90% carbon dioxide at 17 degrees Celsius. Fruit's astringency was decreased when it was placed in a PVC film tent with 80 to 90% carbon dioxide for 24 hours. Treating persimmon fruits with alcohol has been known to reduce their astringency for over 100 years in Japan. Spraying fruit with 35 to 40% ethanol at the rate of 150 to 200 ml per 15 kg of fruit was shown to have removed astringency 10 days later in ambient storage. So, talking about the antioxidants. Storage disorders such as scald in apples can be controlled by a pre-storage treatment with an antioxidant. Ethoxyquin, marketed as Stop Scald, or DPA, diphenylamine, marketed as No Scald, should be applied directly to the fruit within a week of harvesting. There are restrictions on the sale of treated fruits in several countries, and local legislation should be consulted before they are applied. So now we are going to discuss about the fruit coating. Fruits are dipped or sprayed with a range of materials post-harvest to improve their appearance or delay deterioration. A product that could be used to coat fruit and when dried leave a membrane on the surface that would regulate their respiration rate was patented in the United States. The ultimate result was to increase the fruit's shelf life. The coating material consisted of a hydrophobic substance chosen from a group comprising hydrophobic solids and hydrophobic and non-volatile liquids such as natural waxes and water-soluble high polymer such as polysaccharides. Coatings such as Tal Prolong, Semperfresh, Chitosan, VaporGuard, Biofresh, Trelose have been known to delay ripening of fruits and maintain quality during storage. Talking about the anti-ethylene. Ethylene is a gaseous plant hormone that plays an important role in inducing and ripening process for so many fruits, together with other hormones and signals. Exposure of harvested plant material to 1-MCP, that stands for methyl cyclopropene, has been shown to reduce ethylene production of fruits, vegetables and flowers. 1-MCP is available as a commercial preparation called ethyl block powder. Ethylene production, respiration and color changes in Fuji apples were all inhibited following 1-MCP treatment as 0.45 millimolar per meter cube. It reduced superficial scald incidence and accumulations of alpha-farnesene and conjugated trienols during air storage, but that its efficacy on stored apples was affected by cultivar and storage conditions. Talking about the role of salicylic acid. For more than a century, salicylic acid, also known as 2-hydroxybenzoic acid, has been utilized in medicine. It is derived from willows, salix species, and can also be found in the rubus fruits, ripe ribes, and fragaria. Studies have been conducted to examine its impact on plant matter. For instance, soaking peach fruit in 0.10 gram per liter salicylic acid and storing it at room temperature delayed the peak of ethylene production. Electrolyte leakage decreased. A reduction in electrolyte leakage and an initial reduction in polyphenol oxidase activity compared with untreated fruits. It is unclear if it would ever be permitted for post-harvest application to fruit and vegetables, despite its significance in medicine. Talking about curing. Periderm protects against both excessive water loss and microbial infections. Curing, which is accomplished by exposing the damaged periderm to a suitable temperature and high humidity for a certain amount of time, is essentially a wound healing procedure to repair the damaged periderm. This layer might be fractured or damaged during the harvesting and handling processes. Fruits are cured, particularly citrus fruits. Hot water treatment. Before being stored or marketed, crops can be rubbed with hot water or submerged in hot water to prevent diseases. The disease-causing fungus are actively developing on the fruit, which is the basic idea behind this treatment. Following harvest, fruit stop growing. Since actively dividing cells are more prone to injury, it is possible to determine a schedule of temperatures and time that will kill the fungi and control the disease without causing harm to the fruit. To obtain total control, a fungicide might also need to be added to the water. Hot water treatment has been applied to various crops, including mangoes, papaya, citrus fruits, blueberries, and sweet potatoes. So, talking about the vapor heat treatment. This remedy was created to prevent fruit fly infections in fruit. It involves stacking the fruit boxes in a room that has been heated and made more humid by steam. By inserting a temperature probe into the center of the fruit or next to the seed, one may determine how long the fruit has been exposed. All stages of the insects, eggs, larvae, pupae, and adults are killed by adjusting the temperature and exposure duration so as not to harm the fruit. So, talking about the storage of fresh fruits. Fruits and vegetables are stored for a variety of reasons. It is a component of orderly marketing where a grower or group of growers can accumulate enough produce to ship to market in an orderly manner. While it's being sold, it might be kept in wholesale marketplaces for storage. Additionally, it could be kept in storage to take advantage of a price increase when the price is low. Some crops are kept in storage for extended periods of time in order to increase their availability. In the later instance, particularly varieties of the crops are grown for specifically long-term storage. The main objectives of storage are to minimize glut and distress sale in the market, thus assuring good price to the farmers, to ensure availability of food in off-season, save horticulture produce from being spoiled, Storage in season when cost of produce is relatively low and marketing in off-season at a better price. This gives higher returns to growers and traders. To regulate the price of the commodity during season and also in off-season. Mostly apples, pears, grapes, potatoes, onions and chilies are stored in large quantities to feed the market round the year. Off-season demand is the demand for any fruit or vegetable that exists outside of harvesting season. Only if fruits are kept throughout the harvest season and sold during off-season can this demand be satisfied. The three main variables that affect the post-harvest quality and storage of horticulture products are temperature, ventilation, and relative humidity. Lowering the temperature to the lowest safe level is of paramount importance for enhancing the shelf life, reducing the losses, and maintaining fresh quality of fresh produce. For example, mango needs a temperature about 8 degrees Celsius, banana about 12 degrees Celsius, apple 1 to 2 degrees Celsius. These combinations of temperature and relative humidity have been recommended for fruit and vegetable storage. Number 1. 0 to 2 degrees Celsius and 90 to 98% relative humidity for leafy vegetables, crucifers, temperate fruits and berries. Number 2. 7 to 10 degrees Celsius and 85 to 95% relative humidity for citrus, subtropical fruits and fruit vegetables. Number 3. 13 to 18 degrees Celsius and 85 to 95% relative humidity for tropical fruits, melons, pumpkins and root vegetables. The crop's metabolic activities are connected to the rise in the rate of degradation. The rate of respiration rises exponentially with temperature. Respiration results in produce deterioration, including loss of nutritional value, changes in texture and flavor, and loss of weight. Many crops suffer from chilling injury at temperatures well above their freezing point. Therefore, it is essential to define clearly the temperature range over which the prediction applies. There are many kinds of storage systems and structures ranging in complexity from fleet storage to controlled atmosphere and hyperbaric storage. Fleet storage options include heaps, cellars, underground passageways or chambers, RCC rooms, evaporative cool chambers and zero energy cool chamber system. The zero energy cool chamber system is a significant on-farm storage facility that uses evaporative cooling to store fresh products for a brief period of time. Controlled atmosphere and hyperbaric storage are two crucial types of modern cold storage that are highly developed and technologically superior. Among all field storage systems, natural ventilation is required. Produce is placed in heaps, bags, boxes, bins, pallets. Problems of pests and rodents are severe in field storage. Therefore, there must be an adequate provision to keep out animals, rodents, and pests. For modern cold stores, forced air ventilation is compulsory. This requirement is fulfilled by cooling fans. Fresh fruits and vegetables can be stored using a system known as controlled atmosphere storage, which varies the environment's concentrations of carbon dioxide and oxygen. Levels of carbon dioxide and oxygen in a controlled atmosphere storage chamber at loading are comparable to those of ambient air. Because the fruits and vegetables in the store are respiring, the gas combination will alter over time. Selection of the most suitable atmosphere depends on cultivars, stage of maturity, and environmental and cultivation parameters. After harvest, the produce is moved from the field to packing houses, wholesale or retail markets using a variety of vehicles including trucks, tractors, trains, boats, ships, and utility vehicles. Because these lack refrigeration facilities, the produce deteriorates more quickly than it would have in a refrigerated transport. To distinguish between fruits and vegetables that can withstand cold temperatures such as mangoes, bananas, and tomatoes, and those that can't like apples, pears, cauliflower, pepper, etc., these must be categorized. By doing this, the chance of product damage due to freezing and chilling injuries during low temperature cooling during transportation is eliminated. So, talking about the marketing of fresh fruits. Marketing is defined as the series of services involved in moving a product or commodity from the point of production to the point of consumption. Marketing involves finding out what your customers want and supplying it to them at a profit. Marketing strategies for fresh food, particularly fruits, vary from nation to nation and state to state. These variations can be attributed to a number of factors, including eating patterns and socio-economic circumstances. Seasonality is a common trait of perishable crops as their worth and selling price fluctuate throughout the year. In certain situations, preserving the crop from the harvest season to the season of scarcity can lead to orderly marketing. Numerous industrialized and developing nations have employed a wide variety of marketing strategies. All of these systems are continuously adapting to new political and economic environment. So, talking about the direct marketing. Direct sales from the farmer to the customer constitute the most basic type of system. The customer might contact the farm directly for this. This has caused the establishment of farm stores in numerous nations, where the farmer harvests the produce and sells it. So, talking about the middleman. Purchases from the farmer may be made by middlemen who visit the farm. After that, they will sell the produce again to the wholesaler or retailer. The middlemen frequently have their own labor force, which spares the farmer from having to gather the crop. One example of this is Bangalore's Kisan Company. Talking about the direct-to-retailer system. Many farmers, especially those who operate on a large scale, sell directly to the supermarkets in industrialized nations. For the producer or importer, this is often done on a contract basis and can be highly practical marketing strategy. In these markets, only the most well-organized, productive and visionary farmers achieve constant success. So now we are going to talk about the wholesale markets. Towns and cities all over the world have developed specialized wholesale marketplaces to help with the marketing of the fresh fruits and vegetables. Numerous of these have been around for centuries. These are groups of intermediaries who buy produce and then sell it to the retailers. They typically buy it from the producers, producer cooperatives or importers, sometimes through brokers. Talking about the retail markets. Street carts, well-established outdoor markets, little green grocery stores and large supermarkets are examples of different types of retail establishments. This diversity of retail outlets has persisted throughout the world, but the multiple retail industry has steadily grown its market share. This is caused by a number of factors such as the reliable quality of the fruit and the ease of doing the weekly shopping in one location. Talking about the cooperative marketing associations. An association of the farmers to market their produce collectively is known as cooperative marketing. Well-functioning marketing cooperatives are widely available as examples. An association of regional growers established East Kent Packers in England, and the grower members contribute to own the business. Crops grown by members are harvested, graded and either delivered to East Kent Packers for further marketing or stored to future use. Talking about the fair trades. Commercial companies are involved in fair trades, although it's primarily a non-government organization with a charitable background. It publishes a set of values that are used for trade. In order to provide customers with something of worth, further goals include providing the good quality and value. In order to give the grower a steady environment, it works on sustainability. Thank you all for joining today's lecture. I hope you found it informative.